Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat series Baraka figure. Now get a good look at him here in the packaging as much as you can. As I say with most of these Storm Collectibles reviews, Storm Collectibles likes to put this sheet of plastic over their figure to keep the figure from damage and all the contents kind of neat and secure in their package. And it really makes the figure obscure and hard to see, and it didn't work so great this time because I can already see one of Baraka's hands has fallen out and one of his blades has slid out of the tray there. Not that anything looks damaged. This came straight from BigBadToyStore.com though, so you know, it's not like it's been jostled around too much. On the back here, you can see some of the various poses you can get him in, how you can attach his injuring effects to another character. And his read-up says, Baraka led the attack against Liu Kang's Shaolin Temple, and he belongs to a nomadic race of mutants living in the wastelands of the Outworld. Tarkatans, they're called Tarkatans, I don't know why they didn't put that on the box. Baraka's fighting skills gained the attention of Shao Kahn, who recruited him into his army. As a contestant, spelled with a K, which I love, in the Mortal Kombat tournament, he will ensure his Emperor's claim to Earthrealm. And just look at all the various poses you can get him in. You've got the short and long arm blades, the spike effects, two different head sculpts, which is very nice, but not a whole lot to say about the packaging. Let's open him up. And here we have Baraka out of the packaging. Now really quick, I did want to mention his blades came a little bit warped straight out of the package. Both the long ones and the shorter ones, unfortunately. And that's because they're this very soft plastic on the end, as you can see here. So that's not something that's impossible to fix, but it is a little annoying when this is such a key feature of the character. You definitely want to see, you know, Baraka's arms blades looking great when that's his, you know, big thing. If you will stand up, please. He's been standing totally fine until I started this review. Now, one more quick note is his blade spark effect. On the back of the packaging and everywhere I've seen, if we can get the packaging in here real quick, you can just see it shows it flying from his hand. Online, they show a base supporting it. And I assumed that, this was just going to be like Goro's little base effect, which if you haven't bought the Goro figure, which you should, Goro came with this flying green base effect and this little snap together thing. I don't have it posed right now, but you know, it was a simple little thing to make us a fet pop. So I opened mine up and sure enough, there's a little peg hole for the base, but there's no base. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. This is an accessory clearly meant to fit on a base. There's no easy way to attach it without, as it's sculpted to be kind of posed in midair, you know. Now you can get it up there, you know, even if you have to tie a fishing line to the top of your display. So it's not really useless, but at the same time, I shouldn't have to go, it's just like with the claws, I shouldn't have to go through all those extra steps straight out of the packaging. The effect itself is nicely sculpted, a little pink, you can't really tell, it turns into a blue shade, which I always assume was supposed to be him shearing one of his arm blades off and shooting at the opponent. Now, otherwise, you get all his alternate sets of hands, the kind of grasping hands, the open palms, and the, well, it's more of a gripping hand than a closed fist. He's got the closed fist on. And then you get all your various blood splatter injury effects, which we'll have a better look at here in a minute. And of course, his alternate head. I will say I was really surprised they gave us an alternate head instead of just investing in an articulated jaw. Now, I don't know how much that would have cost, but it seems like it might have been the better route. But Baraka's detail's very nice, very accurate to the way he appeared in Mortal Kombat 2, which I believe is the look they're going for. So you can see here, very nice detail, all the spikes coming out of his arms, even though the blade is bent. And the way the arm blades pop on is there's these little notches which are very easy to attach to. And you just simply hook them in here. So, nothing really to it. So that's nice. Now, as far as his articulation, which we'll take the arm blades off for, Baraka's head, of course, is on a very nice ball joint, and go down, back, do a full 360. His main torso, or his admin articulation rather, is pretty hindered by his shirt. It's there, but it's not wanting to move at all. His arms are on the standard Storm Collectibles arm joint. I don't really know what to call this thing. This is a separate piece to allow you to swap off things like Ermac's injuring arm effects. But it goes forward, back, up and down. Then, of course, the arm is on a standard ball joint, full 360, up and out. Bicep, of course, spins, double jointed at the elbow, and a very nice hinged wrist here. So, he does a full 360 at the waist. His legs go forward, back, out, and I don't believe there's a quadricep joint. No, there's not. Double jointed knees, very nice ankle joint with a pivot, and a little toe joint there. Now, a lot of the poses you see on the back of the packaging have him up in with one leg in the air, and if I can, he's had a hard enough time standing on his own. So without his arm blades in, let's just see. Yep, looks like he'll stand just fine on one leg. So that's nice. Real quick, we'll pop the heads off here to the joint with it. And again, Storm Collectibles figures are kind of meant to be taken apart. Well, not really taken apart, but having pieces swapped out, different effects popped on. You can see here. So, we'll get that back on real quick. You can hear that long joint connect to the joint beneath his chest there. So, that being said, let's actually get all his gear on, and let's take a look at the injuring effects on another character real quick. So I grabbed Ermac out of my display, and I've got Baraka down in his little chop pose here, which is one of his signature moves. And the injuring effects are nice enough. They're really simple in the way they work, in that you just slide them on. There's no clips or anything. You slide them on, and it looks like blood is splurting. You know, just... It doesn't show up great on Ermac, but it is a nice effect. You also get the two smaller ones, which, you know, they work in this exact same way, which Ermac's arm constantly wants to fall off. But like he chops them in the arm or something along those lines, you know, anywhere you want to clip them on. So we'll throw him back off to the side there. That's a really nice little feature. I do dig that with the range of articulation on these guys, there's not too much you can't do. So, all things considered, this figure runs you $70, which is the standard for a normal Mortal Kombat Storm collectible figure. Now, I am a little bit disappointed in certain things about him. For example, you know, I'm going to have to heat these claws already, and that's annoying. Now I've got to find a way to get that blade spark effect to sit up in my display, because that was honestly the way I wanted him posed. And now I have to make that happen some other way. But it doesn't really take away from the fact that despite all that, he's still a really great figure. If you're buying from the Storm Collectibles line, you know they're kind of releasing these at a trickle. They release 1 or 2 a year, but they show tons. You know, they've shown Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, you know, Melina, Kitana, Liu Kang's Animality, and they haven't released any of them. It's so annoying waiting for them to get around to releasing them, because they keep announcing they've got more licenses for different fighting games like Darkstalkers and Street Fighter. And, you know, don't get me wrong, that's great, but I want my Mortal Kombat roster filled out. So at the end of the day, I am a little bit upset that I've got to fix things about this guy out of package. But nothing about him I have to fix is super hard. You know, a little bit of heat, some pressure, you know, finding a base I'm sure I can find to make this work out. So, at the end of the day, I still do recommend picking him up. I do like him a lot. I think his posability is great. I love his articulation. And that being said, this is JTrain997, and I'll see you soon, YouTube.